Welcome to Blood Moon Oracle. My name is Leticia. I hope you guys are well today. So today we are coming. I feel like Spirit has been talking to me about dreams, and so we're going to pull out some energy and see what Spirit might want to say. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a dream per se. This could just be something that maybe visions that you've been getting or synchronicities, things reiterating through messaging for you. Um, but it could absolutely be dreams. We're going to tap in and see what Spirit has to say. And so I am using my Dream Oracle deck, Kelly Sullivan Walden. I'm also using my Archetypes, the Wild Unknown deck by Kim Krans. I love this. Very beautiful illustrations. And then the same illustrator, Kim Krans, also did a tarot deck, the Unknown Tarot. Okay. So those are the three tools that we'll be using for this message. I did go ahead and cleanse my deck. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Like, share, comment, subscribe if you feel led. If it resonates, feel free to comment. If you are new here, welcome. Feel free to hit the bell if this is something that you're into, divination, metaphysical activities. Feel free to hit the bell so you'll be notified the next time we post. We do all kinds of activities on here, not just readings, music. If you love music, take a look at my um, music that will be being posted soon here. We do healing work. Right now, we're reading through a book called Spiritual Hygiene, which talks about living a life where we can learn to heal. And the reason for the healing is so that we can get back to a place where we can actually enjoy life. So lots of good things that we are tapping into with this book by Ayanna Van Zant. If you like reading, join us every Sunday. That's when we post chapters for this book. Some of the other things that we do are a little bit of plant life. I need to get back to that. Maybe I will soon. And yeah, there's some other things in my archives that you can look through, teaching modules and tools, just lots of different things that might interest you. Okay, and so let's take a look. I'm going to go ahead and start pulling. I hope you guys are well today. So what is it that I'm going to pull three different cards, and one of these cards could be of significance for you. The first one is ceremony. The second one is baby. And the third one is flood. Okay. And so we're going to do one at a time. And y'all know I'm long winded. So I'm going to try to be cognizant and stay cognizant of the time so we could just pass through each of these messages one by one. But very quickly, promptly as well, we're asking Spirit to give all of the information necessary for the viewer who might tap into these messages to understand what's being said. So we're going to start with ceremony. And this talks about maybe you've had dreams about some type of, for whoever you are, maybe some type of graduation or leveling up or achieving some type of accomplishment is what I'm seeing. Whatever this is very fulfilling for you. I feel like the energy behind it causes you to feel very appreciative and fulfilled. There's lots of green in this picture, so there's lots of heart chakra energy coming forward here. Whatever this is makes you feel really good, right? And very accomplished, very inspired, maybe even providing lots of contentment in life. And so you may have had a dream about some type of ceremony where you were being acknowledged in some type of way or honored in some type of way, receiving some type of reward or award. Maybe the dream was about you reaching a destination that you set for yourself. You had an opportunity to see yourself on the other side. The energy is around ceremony, which talks about this special moment of recognition. There's something about you receiving some energy of attention and recognition for what it is that you have done or what you've given, what you've accomplished. Yeah. Let's see what else. What else here, Spirit? This could also be some type of initiation that you may have had a dream about, or you've had some vision or some signs and synchronicities around some type of initiation, or again, completing something. I don't know if you may be in school, maybe you see yourself graduated and done on the other side of what you've been working on, or transferring over to the next part of your life, the next chapter. Yeah. But whatever it is, it's very fulfilling. I feel like there's a lot of emotion. You may have even had a dream, and the dream may have been very emotional, where you were happy, like overwhelmingly happy. And you know how sometimes you have happy tears? Maybe you woke up from the dream, or this moment of inspiration was like very overwhelming, causing overflow of reaction in your emotions. There's something about your mental as well. For those of you that may be going through not necessarily a difficult time, but I get the sense like you've been in this place for a while, working on this for a while. This chapter of your life has been going for a while. And there's something about you being able to see through. You see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's like a vision coming forward here. And you're seeing yourself again on the other side. Yeah. So let's go ahead and see what else Spirit has here. What else about this dream or this energy around ceremony? Oh, get one more from the unknown oracle deck. Okay. So the first thing that came out was the Natos. The Natos. Then the Orphan. Then the last thing that came out was the Castle. Let's take a look here. Something around ceremonies, some sacred passage or rite of passage that you may have had a dream about, or have some type of vision about. But let's get some more information on what that information could look like in your visions, in your dreams. And this ceremony could, the natos is like about some change to the existing way of life, right? That rite of passage taking you into the next season of your life. Or this could be like I'm getting also a funeral. This card actually represents the energy of death, but not in the sense necessarily of someone passing on. When we talk about death in terms of tarot or oracle, sometimes it means the transition or the transformation. And when we look at this particular archetype, it can't be contained or assimilated to any one thing. This is the idea of something ongoing or omnipresent. It exists in every aspect without a beginning or an end. It's almost like the energy of eternal, something being born. And so, yeah, I feel like this could talk about that overwhelming expression of emotionalism. that may be being felt here as you're bearing witness to whatever this is that you've dreamt about. For some, this could also represent some type of fear of something happening. It could represent that as well. It could definitely represent someone passing on to the next part of their life journey. This could tap into the energy of the underworld. And I don't know, I do see a web here. It could have something to do with um, feeling like you have been stuck and finally getting unstuck. I can kind of sense that with the energy of the web, right? Once you touch it, it's hard to release yourself from it. It's designed to get you stuck, whatever touches it, right? We know the architecture of a web and its purpose. And so I just get the sense like there's something that you're finally moving on from, that's being reiterated with the natos. The next one was the orphan. And looking at the orphan, it almost feels like I'm looking at this snake that's coiled in a circle. And then there's almost like what looks like a little child's hand to me. And it's a number five. Fives represent change. Again, talking about some type of transition or change. But when we look at the orphan, we're looking at something or maybe wounded energy, abandonment, or being in a position of needing, right? When we look at orphans, orphans are, it's the idea of needing someone else to step in and assist. And so this could be passing out of a time of isolation into something more collective, where you will have more attention, more of your needs met. On one hand, this talks about the energy of like a deep feeling, a deep solace, deep contemplation, deep self acceptance in some type of way, or receiving some level of deep love, right? This could be how you're feeling about yourself. This could be what you're receiving when you get to, or how you're feeling when you get to where you're going, just a deep sense of appreciation. I feel like there's something to do with distance or separation or um, feeling detached and disconnected in some type of way. And so this might be leading to you feeling connected again. Okay. And then lastly, we have the castle. Hmm. So your dream with the orphan could have been, for some of you, maybe there's some recollection or memory that came back around your childhood. Maybe you've been dreaming about your childhood lately that was tied to this. Let's see. Lastly, we have the council. Kind of like when we think of a castle, we can think of it in terms of like a palace or like a penthouse or a fortress, something providing lots of protection, something that may also feel very fairy tale like too. So there could have been a lot of those elements in the dream that felt very unreal or maybe even unlikely, made you feel kind of like that fairy tale like energy. There may have been something a little bit magical about the dream or the vision. Overall, I'm getting a sense of feeling taken care of, feeling abundant, feeling in your power. Whatever this is, I feel like there was not only a sense of heavy emotional, lots of fulfillment, but it also could have made you feel very powerful in the dream. And going from feeling stuck, depressed, or restricted in some type of way, and landing in your power on the other side of this, feeling a high sense of protection, guardedness, covering, free. I'm hearing free too. Having all, feeling full, having all of your needs met. So this gives me the sense of like you just feeling very spoiled, taken care of. That might have been some element of the dream. And so something very emotional here. So what other energy? We're going to put a little tarot before we go to the next message. So we have the Queen of Swords, the Four of Cups, and the Six of Wands. Yeah, lots of love, heavy love. We look at the Four of Cups. This is you securing love for yourself first. You even pulling back to take care of yourself or blocking yourself off in a way so that you can take care of yourself. Um, and being successful doing that, being clear about that, maybe even setting clear boundaries. And I feel like this could be around messaging. Sometimes our dreams are not only premonitions of what is to come, sometimes it holds messages of what we need to do next. So for someone, spirit could be letting you know that it is time, right, to start taking care of yourself better, start being a little bit more strict, not only when it comes to others, but also even with yourself. Yeah. The Six of Wands has a butterfly. I feel like this kind of points to that energy of the ceremony where we're talking about that transformation, that transition that's happening, that will be successful. The Six of Wands is all about success. It's all about garnering the energy that you need, maybe even being seen as successful, rising in a way that allows you to be released from anything that have held you back. As you can see, the butterfly is rising out of the sticks, right? To a sense of liberation. And so that's what this dream could have been about. On the underside of that, maybe it's spirit just letting you know there's something either that you may need to prepare for, to position yourself for. It definitely gives the energy of being clear about something. With the Mother of Swords, the Queen of Swords is all about mental energy. Queen of Swords wants to know when, where, how, why, what, who, right? There's nothing that gets by the Queen of Swords. And so this is maybe spirit letting you know this is a time to be aware, right? To make sure that you know. Let's see. So with these energies, what else about, yeah. So I have the Daughter of Pentacles, the Daughter of Cups, which is actually page energy, and then the Eight of Wands. I do feel like this does have something to do with a transition. Um, Pages are all about, can be interpreted in many ways like the aces, which is starting something new or being new to something. So there is some type of new experience that may be being offered here, coming up shortly, very quickly, with the Eight of Swords that you may need to prepare for. Maybe that's what the dream was about, is to prepare for what's coming. And it could be success with the Six of Wands, but it's coming in very fast, like a wrecking ball, or like a strike of thunder. or lightning rather. And I do feel like it's going to be enjoyable. I see lots of the colors of the rainbow in each of these cards, which talks about this energy of emotional, this fluctuation of emotions, right? That's the energy I'm getting from the cards. And being new to this is going to be some type of new experience. Yeah. This could be practically so. It could also be emotional. It could be both. Something that you'll delve into practically that will also stimulate some things emotionally as well. Um, so the dream was about some type of transition. Maybe that resonates. Um, Leaving one space, going to another. I do get a lot of emotionalism in this transition, in this dream. Maybe you woke up crying from happiness, and it could be the opposite too. Let me see what else. But it's around some change that's taking place. And I feel like that it may be preparing you for what is about to come. That's what I'm getting. And it's good energy. Wherever you land is actually in a better space. What you don't see is the Queen of Pentacles on the bottom, which is all about being in a position of groundedness, being able to take care of what you need to take care of. In this picture, we have the deer with the baby, being in a position. Well, Mother of Pentacles really does have a lot of nurturing energy, a lot of maternal energy. And it just gives me the sense of like being positioned to be able to take care of whatever responsibilities you have, you know, whatever comes up, you're available to do it. You're in a position to be able to handle it and handle it well. So there's some transition. I feel like that is relevant here, that you may be being prepared for. That may be why you're having dreams about ceremonies and transitions. It's time to move to the next level. That may require releasing some things. That may require releasing some old mindsets, some old ways of thought, or old um, habits, some history, right? And welcome in new. Because where you're going, I feel like it's really talking about a very beautiful space. Okay? One that will be enjoyable and provide lots of emotional contentment. So that was ceremony. And as you can see, looking at her gown, it's very flowy, it's very dramatic, right? So whatever this was is very dramatic. It's full of emotional reaction and stimulation. And so, yeah, that may be welcoming in this next season of your life. It's time to move forward, is what Spirit is saying. Okay. Well, that's the first one, ceremony. That may have resonated. If not, stick around for the next ones. Okay. All right, we are back. And the next one is baby. So you may have had a dream that you were pregnant. Somebody was pregnant. You may have had a dream of some fish. They say when you dream of fish, that means somebody has conceived, right? Um, you may have had a dream of caring for someone, a baby, or someone that needs assistance in that way. As we know, when the babies first come out, they're very dependent. This could be a dream about having to take care of someone else. It could also be a dream about raising something. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical baby. It could be like opening a new business, getting a new plant, right? Having to care for something and nurture it to its fullness. I get that energy. Um, But through this is almost like you having the opportunity to tap back into the very essence of your being, the very innocence, right? There's something about a baby, when a baby comes into our lives, especially if we haven't had one in a while, that just, it causes these very innate energies to resurface. We start talking infant talk, right? It just causes us to tap back into very young energy, like an innocence. I feel like this is something that's being dredged up through this dream. This dream may have taken you back to your childhood in some type of way, and made you feel those very young energies, maybe that you haven't felt in a while. But there's something here about baby that is coming out, and it may in fact point to just new opportunities, or in the dream, or these feelings that you're having, these visions may point to energies like innocence or vulnerability, or maybe even having opportunities to tap into things you've yet to do. Like I said, maybe opening a new business, getting a new plant, doing something that pulls you into a new experience. And this could also point to the energy of someone stepping into a bit of independence. Maybe you're having to depend on someone else, or maybe someone else is having to depend on you. That may have been what the dream was about. But there's also just messaging that could come through as well about this new experience, a new project, or a new relationship that's coming in that will need to be nurtured. All right, just like you nurture a baby, there's regular feeding schedules, there's attention that needs to be given, there's energy that's required in order for it to flourish. There's something that's represented here with the baby. Let's see what else comes out here. Else around this energy of the baby spirit for pile number 2. So when you have a dream of a baby, it doesn't always literally mean a baby. It could mean several things, right? As we've just discussed. But what is this here? Let's take a look. My viewer that's resonating with this pile. Okay. I have the judge, offering, and the king. Judge, the offering, and the king. Okay. Hmm. Judge. Interesting one when it comes to baby. So when we think about the judge, we're talking about the energy around someone with some type of authority that's able to make some type of um, analysis, right? That's also has some level of power, that's able to advocate as well. So this could talk about some important work that you may be being called to through this energy of the baby. Like I was saying, there's something about being in a position of having to nurture something or be responsible for something or someone. This may be like a calling of standing in a position of discretionary care in some type of way for someone or something. Because when we look at the judge, we're talking about a very important job. It's not just anybody. This is somebody that is held in a very high position and a high light, as you know, others look upon them. They have a very high responsibility and stature for the position that they hold, and someone able to discern what is right and what is true, what is fair as well. And so, again, this could be something about stepping into some energy of having to take care of something or someone. Mhm. Judge. I also have the offering. And I feel like the judge also brings out the energy with the one stepping into this energy of realizing the importance of what it is that you're being called to, right? A judge is held to very high standards, right? Probably won't see a judge doing everything that the average person would do. A judge may even need a little bit more discretion with their own life too. And so I feel like this is very heavy. It's not something that you will need to take lightly if you're being called to a position to care for something or something. It's going to be something very serious. And then we have the offering, which has a hand out like it's waiting to receive something. In the background are colorful clouds and a waning moon. Um, and so the energy around the offering is all about some type of gift or an offering, a present, or a sacrifice. When we look at the offering, we may be talking about some level of generosity or giving something, donating something, volunteering something. Maybe it's this position. Maybe it's something that no one else is willing to do or is able to do. You'll be stepping up to the plate here where you've seen yourself um, kind of like being the one most likely to do this. It's almost like a call to do something, whatever this is. So you may be feeling very generous in the dream, compelling to step forward and offer something or do something. You feel called amongst many in some type of way to do this thing. I feel like it's the energy of the offering. This may feel kind of like a sacrifice, like you have been given something of yourself that feels like there was a price to give it, or it may feel very sacred, like not everybody can do this. There may be a sense of sacredness that you felt in the dream. Almost get a sense of storms as I look at the background of this picture, how there's very cloudiness in the back, but you can see that hand sticking out in the darkness, asking for something, waiting for something. Um, so it almost gives me the feel of desperate times or something being kind of desperate in the moment, a need being filled, something like that. And so that could be like around the feeling that you had in the dream, something needed, you being called to step up and provide it. And maybe even a sense of urgency or significance around this. I don't feel like it would just be an everyday feeling. There's some call to duty or something like that here. And then the last card was the king. And on this picture, we have another hand. That was the one thing we had in each of these cards. Let's see. Each of them have a hand. I just noticed that. You can see the hand in the upper left-hand corner. This one, we have a hand coming out of the dark. And then this one, we have a hand at the center. So it's almost like there's something being asked, something being given, something expected. And so, yeah, during this dream or this vision, whatever this energy is, there's this compelling energy that you're feeling. again, like I was saying, this might be something that you feel like no one else is able to do. And so you have this compelling feeling to step up. Maybe no one else is willing to sacrifice. And so when we look at the king, very interesting card. There's a hand in the center, and then all around it is all the colors of the chakra system, from red, which is the root, to orange, which is the sacral, very various levels of orange, and then we have yellow, which is the solar plexus. And so the lower parts of the chakra are the colors that we have here. And so this might talk about providing some type of grounding to this situation, some type of balance, or I'm hearing soliditude, like some balance or grounded energy here. But when we look at the energy of a king, there's some sacrifice in the palm of this hand. It's almost like a little pool of blood, almost like some sacrifice being offered or given. But this is the energy of someone who commands, who rules. It's like the energy of the emperor. Very balanced, very grounded, high level of responsibility. Maybe even someone that has some type of responsibility for more than just a couple of people. It's almost like ruling a whole kingdom, and being responsible for that kingdom. There's a high, like I was saying with the judge, it brings this high level of responsibility and being compelled to do it. This energy with the king is almost like, yeah, here, right? Some energy of benevolence, of kindness, of divine leadership, right? As a leader, there's certain things that we're expected to be willing to do. It's not just about ruling over people, but the core of leadership is about service. And I feel that very strongly here. There's some calling to step forward and do this. And not only, is the calling there, but you may feel this because you may have the ability or the capability to do it. Okay. Now let's get some more energy with tarot. I'm just imagining the emperor. The emperor really is the go-to person. You may be being asked, you may have had a dream, I'm hearing, and that dream may not necessarily be the baby. The baby is symbolic for what you're being called to do. This is something that no one else has stepped up to do, that no one else has taken, responsibility to do. There's something about you. When it lands in your lap, you step up to the plate to do it. And I hear you are more than delighted to do it. Yeah. It's almost like it could not have been asked of a better person. You're like you're the right person for the job, whatever this is. And guess what comes out? Isn't that crazy? Can't make this up. The emperor comes out, right? Yeah. It's almost like who else would be more fitting, for this? Is there anyone else that would be able to do this, right? It would take someone of your caliber, whatever this is. I also have the two cups, which talks about some commitment to this. And then I have the 9 of wands. It may look difficult. It may not be as difficult as it looks, right? When we look at heading up these stairs, they look like they're blocked, but really it's a very simple thing to just brush the little twigs to the side so that you can get to the top where you're being called to, right? And so it may look more difficult than it is. It may sound more difficult than it is, but I feel like there's something here that you may be being called to do. If you have, in fact, been dreaming about babies or some level of responsibility of being accountable for something, having to nurture it, you're being called to do this, whatever this is. What is this, Spirit? Let's see if we can get more information. What is this? So I have the Hangman, the Eight of Cups, and the Death. Whatever it is, I feel like it's in an isolated state. Like right now, it's not necessarily moving or it's not changing. Whatever this is, you've been called, and whatever it is that you will offer will change it. It's unchanged until you take it on. You have all the tools and the skills. You have the skill set. You have the makeup, right, to cause change in this situation, um, and to make it better. Yeah. Um, Three of Cups on the bottom. This may, in fact, include those closest to you. So I almost get the sense like you could be being asked to step up and care for someone's child, somebody that's not able to. This could be someone very close to you. It doesn't have to be. I'm just getting that scenario. But in essence, you are being called to step up to the plate here. There's nobody better suited for this job than you. Okay. I don't necessarily get for everybody, it's around taking care of a baby. There's something else that's being called of you to take accountability and do what needs to be done here. There's some level of uh, not necessarily repair, but it's almost like get this thing out. And you know what I'm hearing? Like, say you're just walking down the street and you see a goat stuck in a ditch, and everybody else has passed by. They're like, I'm not doing it. Right. And there's something that compels you. Maybe you have a love for animals, or you have some, connection for some reason to nature, as a whole. And you're able to do it. So why not? And so you stop to pull the goat out of the ditch and you send it back on its way, back to the pasture where it was. It's something like that, something you're being called to. Whatever this is definitely pulls on your heartstrings or something that you feel equipped, and you are, in fact, equipped to do it. Okay. Yeah. So if you've been having dreams about a baby, you're being called to step up to the plate in some type of way, shape, or form. You will be called to do it if you have not yet. I do feel like for many, this is around connection. There's some type of commitment, maybe even a contract here. I am hearing businesses. Maybe you'll be asked to step up and run somebody's business. Maybe you're good at numbers, or, there's something here about a contract or a connection that's going to be very fruitful. Okay. So that's what I'm hearing for the baby. Mm, right. Thank you for stopping by. Now, if that one didn't resonate, hang around because we have one more. Okay. Okay. So for our third dream oracle card, we have Flood. And Flood is talking about this very expressive, emotional experience. And so when I put all these three parts together, if it ends up being a total message for somebody, maybe all three of these files resonated with you. It's almost like you're coming to a point of time in your life where you're transitioning over not only to a greater level of enjoyment and um, your ability to really emotionally be fulfilled in your life. And when I say emotionally, that's really not doing this energy that I'm feeling justice. If you can think of a time where you just had overflowing emotions to where you just couldn't hold back, or maybe you ended up just crying passionately from the happiness, like it's like that amount of joy. Like you're heading into a time of a high amount of fulfillment with life in general. Also, you're heading to a time where your responsibilities will increase as well. More will be expected, right? Um, in some type of way, shape, or form. It's like you'll be expected to do something with this very privileged position that you'll be in. If I was to put all three of these cards together, that's kind of like the energy I'm getting. So if they all resonate, maybe you've been dreaming of rites of passages or ceremonial type of energies, and you've been dreaming about a baby, the last card we did, and then maybe you've been dreaming about some kind of flood, like it could be a literal flood, an excess of water, and you're just kind of like drowning in the water. That could be very symbolic of being over saturated with happiness and feelings and emotional fulfillment and just having to express it in every which way, right? And so for this card, we're looking at kind of like expressing your emotions like the ocean, like an overwhelming sense of fulfillment emotionally. That's what this card is really alluding to. And so if you have been having dreams or you've had several dreams, I'm hearing several dreams about water, excessive water or flooding, that could be pointing to an excess of emotion that you may not know what to do with. You may not know how to express them. It's just so much. It could also point to you being excessively busy and um, overwhelmed with to-do lists, with things to do as well. Or it could be being saturated with abundance, right? And I always talk about abundance as not just material. It doesn't just mean money. It doesn't just mean things, an abundance of things and material things, but abundance is such a greater word than that. In any way that we can experience life, we are able to experience abundance in that way. So we're talking physically, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, mentally. And so any of those aspects, how we are able to express a experience in these physical bodies, there is a way that we can feel abundance in that way. And so abundance is widespread across our whole experience. It doesn't just talk about money or things, right? Abundance is really an overflow, like we're talking about here, an overflow of energy or things to do, an overflow of being saturated with emotions, happiness, joy, um, connections, right? However, you're able to experience a thing, you can have an abundance of it, more than you can handle. And I feel like this actually welcomes in you needing to understand that you have the capacity to receive this and to experience this as well. This may be you expanding the capacity to receive more abundance than you already have or than you think you can handle. Yeah. It could also be a invitation to make room for more, to expand your current version and make room for more. And so if you have had a dream of an abundance of water, or maybe even a natural disaster like a tsunami or some type of storm, this is again ushering in some type of radical change. Okay. And so this might be just letting you know not to feel alarmed if all of a sudden you feel a rush of emotional expression. Like let it out, like let yourself cry, let yourself laugh. That is bringing in the wave of this change, whatever that is. And so let's find out more information here. What else about this flood energy spirit? too many. Um, what else about this flood energy experience? We need to make room for more. That's what I'm hearing. Make room for more. You may need to go in and clean out your closets. You may need to go and give away some of that stuff that you don't even use anymore, right? I feel like this is like an announcement that you need more space for what's coming. You need more space for what's coming. There's a flood of abundance coming for you. Okay. So you have the maiden coming out first, then the starborn second, then the gnosis. Ooh, gnosis. Very colorful cards, all of them. Even the flood card is colorful. Again, lots of emotion here, lots of fulfillment, lots of enjoyment. When we look at the maiden, this is when I think of a maiden, I think of like a virgin or a princess energy or something that is untainted, something that is innocent. So when we look at this archetype, this is like the epitome of taking something that's very innocent and allowing it to now be introduced to other aspects. Like, so it's kind of like the innocent. It's almost like I don't know why I'm getting the energy of seduction here. Yeah. And so it's kind of like taking something innocent and allowing it to experience like arousal, or it's like a naive sensuality or precarious purity, right? Someone may resonate with that energy, something very compelling, and can, in some instances, lead to addiction in some type of way. There's something about this energy that has that allure, right? And so when we look back at the flood, so there may be a flood of experiences coming in that's going to be very different than you have experienced yet, or you've allowed yourself to experience. Yeah. I almost feel like there's something about putting yourself, opening yourself up to learn something else, to receive something else, opening up to the next phase, even of your development. It could be your womanhood, it could be your manhood, but reaching that level where it's time to expand, right? It's time to open up and be open to allow yourself to express. So take it as it resonates. It may not resonate with everybody, but this is what I'm getting. A little bit of a curiosity and an enchanted energy. It feels a little sensual and full of life and vitality. Take that how it resonates, okay? That's what I'm getting. I also have Starborn coming out here. And I feel like this is kind of like what Spirit is preparing you for what's about to come, okay? Starborn is about creation. I almost feel like this is about conception because we have the number 3, which is about the Empress energy. It's about creative energy. It almost has that maiden feel, a little bit nurturing also though, but it has that very princess-like energy. Not necessarily innocent. The Empress is not innocent. The Empress is very experienced and has taken the experiences and really embellished them and created a space for them and done some really beautiful things with them. But I feel like there's something about something being conceived, conception with the number 3. The 3s are all about creativity. I also see an egg here. That is cracked. So it is about to, something's about to be born or is about to come forth. Lots of butterflies around the egg as well. The starborn. And it may not be the average type of experience, the starborn. Like this is not just something being born, but it's starborn. There's something special about this experience. And it may point to some type of divine birth, right? Divine conception, star child or a divine child or something that was destined. It was appointed from the beginning of time for this to happen, whatever this is. And so this is the energy around providing space to allow and being intentional, being aimed, full of life, ready, trusting is coming out here. So whatever's about to happen, this may be an indication that everything is aligned in the right way for this to take place, whatever that is. Okay. I'm just feeling like a flood of emotions. And I almost feel, if I'm gonna really be honest, so far it feels kind of like a climax. I don't know. Is that too much? That might be too much for some. This is 18 and over, so I think we could be real. But I'm almost feeling that kind of energy. Now, when we get to gnosis, the word gnosis actually talks about information. Gnosis, even though it starts with a G, it has that same sound as knowledge, gnosis, knowledge. So there's something about information coming through here. In the middle, there's some geometric shapes. And so it's almost like there's something about precision here, something that's been calculated, the information. And then there's this, again, it's a color wheel that's going around. There's a bird that's carrying the color, right? And so there's a sense of intention here, something being spread. But let's see. Um, this one's hiding from me. Okay, 217, gnosis. So this is kind of like the innate. When we talk about the energy of the innate, it's like your deep level of knowing what you know without even realizing that you know it, or not understanding why you know it or how you know it or where it comes from, like the most inner deepest recesses of your knowing, right? The innermost knowing, the mystic truths. There's something very, we look at the starborn and the maiden and the flood, there's something very mystical about this. Your dream may have that feel to it, just something not normal, something out of this world, something a little bit magical or mysterious. It carries that energy. So this may be giving you not just an experience, but some hidden knowledge, right? This dream may have been packed with hidden messages, hidden knowledge that you've been entrusted to have. May have left you with unanswered questions as well. Or it may have clarified some things in a way that you just know now that it's time, or you just know if something is right, or it's going to take place, or it's going to happen, right? I get that energy, or that it's just right. So there may be something very esoteric about this, something very, like I said, out of this world, but you have been initiated for whatever this experience is. I feel like it's not something that people will have the ability to experience or the opportunity to experience every day. It feels very um, unusual. It feels very unusual. Yeah. This brings in the energy of the archetypical wisdom from a felt experience, like from experiencing something. It could be what you have felt in the dream that gave you a deeper level of knowing, that awakened something deep within you, maybe activated something. And what was mystery before having this experience is now facts, according to what you know. I feel like there's just a sense of certainty that comes with this, and maybe a change, a permanent change as a result of this as well. Again, it may allude to crossing over into the next part of your journey, like some type of ceremony, rite of passage. It definitely is tying into the other energy here. This may also be a calling to study whatever it is that you have been tapped into, whatever that mysterious energy is, to do more studies, to not let it end here, but to go deeper into the mystery, as deep as you are able to go. I'm hearing. Um, what is this energy? The Ace of Swords, some truth, maybe an emotional experience of truth that awakens you, Seven of Swords, to see things more clearly, not just what's in front of you, but to see what's all around you, to see the big picture. The sun bringing the light, whatever this was, it's no longer hidden to you, and you have a level of clarity and understanding around it. So whatever this dream was bringing, it may bring in a lot of clarity around something that you maybe knew about, but didn't have the experience of it. And the dream gave some type of experience that opened your awareness. It opened some kind of gateway of knowledge here. I can't help but feel like with this knowledge comes, it's like forbidden knowledge. This is not something you just sit at the table and talk about. This might be something that you need to guard. Okay. So what is this experience that flood is bringing for my viewer? The Ace of Pentacles comes out, the Eight of Wands, the Five of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. I feel like this may be straightening out something that had been confusing, or if it wasn't confusing, it was unuseful in the sense that you didn't know what to do with it until you got this further bit of knowledge. Maybe you knew, but you didn't have clarity. Okay. Maybe being introduced to something too early before you actually understand what it is. Well, now the knowledge has been added to it, or there's some secret or some understanding that you're being given here that makes it make sense and gives you more clarity on how to handle it and what it is, right? And it happens quickly. Mhm. Yeah. The Queen of Cups on the bottom, it's all about emotional maturity, maybe even guidance. Yeah. So whatever this is with this flood brings in some kind of experience that opens up like a floodgate, not only of knowledge, but also of some kind of experience that takes you to the next level, that provides this overflow of fulfillment and enjoyment. It taps you into the greater experiences that life has to offer, whatever this is. You have not, I feel like you're about to be introduced to what you've come here to experience, right? You know, sometimes you have that experience and you're like, oh my God, why didn't I know about this earlier? Like I could have been doing this, right? It's almost like that. So whatever it is, it's going to be good. and equipped you in some type of way, even to live your best life, right? But I also feel with the gnosis coming out and the starborn, like there's some higher level of purpose here too. This is appointed to happen. So I almost get the sense that spirit has been very much intervening, making this, aligning this so that it will happen the way that it's supposed to. So I almost feel like there's a higher level of purpose behind this too. And so you take that how it resonates. That's the flood energy. So if you've been dreaming of water, there may be an experience you're about to have that's going to be very enjoyable, and that's going to put you on the map, right? It's going to place you right where you need to be and equip you with what you need to know, okay, for higher purpose. So that's what I have for the flood. And let me know how it resonates. That's what I came up with. I may come back a little later and do another one. I think I've been wanting to do a love reading, so I may come back and do an all signs reading when it comes to love. So tune in, make sure you hit the bell so you're notified whenever I go post another video, and we'll see you next time. My name is Leticia. Blood and Oracle is the channel. Bye.